Hello, good afternoon and welcome to today's vlog for Thursday the 13th of August. Hope everybody is well. Firstly, thank you to those people that sent me messages saying it's nice to have the vlogs back, so thank you very much for that, much appreciated. Also a special shout to Rudy sent me a message. He was sitting behind me yesterday in Colchester while I was waiting for a job for about an hour and a half. Never came and said hello, so I just messaged him last night saying next time please come and say hello. And to anybody else, if you see me parked up, my name is all over the back of the van, please come and say hello. I won't bite, promise. Right, okay, gonna start. I wanted to talk about my van. Those of you who watched before my little mini break, I was thinking about what to do with the van. And over the last month and a half, I've put a lot of thought into what I'm going to do. My Ford is excellent. I've got to give it 10 out of 10 to be fair. It's a Ford Transit long wheelbase 350 Eco, I think it is, and it's a good van. It drives nicely. It's perfect for the job that I do, and I've got no complaints about Ford at all. However, I do like the look of the MAN. I don't know why, I do. And also, I've got to be honest, the new Renault Master. Renault is not a brand that I would contemplate in the past touching, but the new one looks good. And also, you're seeing an awful lot of those on the road. However, looks are not everything. This may sound slightly harsh, but because when you're looking to choose a partner in life, yes, initial attraction is massively important, but in reality it comes down to whether you get on with that person and how they are. And the same when you buy a property, probably your second biggest investment in life. Curb appeal on a house or flat or cottage or whatever you're buying, massively important again. But the reality is, it's what's inside that house and how it's laid out will make you fall in love with it or not. And to be honest, vans probably are no different. The MAN looks good, and I know people have said to me it's the sister of the Crafter, and the Renault looks good, but reality is the dealerships that sell and maintain those vehicles are no good to me. They're not local. It's going to involve a lot of time and effort if I have to leave those vehicles at a dealer. So I made the decision, if I'm going to do anything, it's going to stay with the Ford. So with that in mind, I did a little bit of research as to what I can expect if I was to sell this van privately, and bearing in mind it's 3.5 years old, 4 years old, and it's got 166,000 miles on it. The price I can expect isn't brilliant, not surprisingly, of course. So I popped my head into the Ford dealer in Colchester. It's weird because we've got, I'm saying about other dealers have got nothing. Ford have got two. They've got an actual van sales dealership and a van servicing dealership a few miles apart from each other. So I did pop in there. Yeah, I'm not interested in the electric van. That was their preference to sell me. They did have availability of new diesels, and also I was looking at newish diesels, maybe like this one when I bought just over a year old, and maybe 10,000 on the clock. But I actually felt both prices were too high for me, what I wanted to pay. And then we spoke about the van that I've got, and the best they was going to offer me in a part exchange was £4,800 plus VAT. So I went away to think about it, and to be honest, I didn't have to think about it very long. The figures didn't really make sense. So I have decided that I'm going to keep this van, basically until probably the day it dies. I think realistically, I reckon I can get 250 to 300,000 miles out of this van. It's well maintained. I look after it. I don't thrash it around the roads. It gets serviced regularly when it needs to be serviced. I've just had its third, obviously, wet belt on. It's the second change for me. Obviously, the original one was on. And knowing that I probably do around about 45 to 50,000 miles a year, I think I can certainly get another 18 months to 2 years out of it, possibly more. No guarantees, something might blow up next week, who knows. But that's what I'm going to do. And I think the key point I'm trying to put across is whatever you're going to do with your vans, you certainly need to plan and need to keep on top of that planning. The key thing for me as well, 62 years old, I do not want to lumber myself with a heavy repayment on a van. Medically, things can go wrong. I've just seen it, you know, friends that have just killed over without any explanation, or more worryingly, sort of been taken ill, mainly with cancer, and then you can't work, and it causes you all sorts of problems. So I think at my time of life at 62, it makes more sense to stay with this van, treat it nicely, treat it well. Yes, I'm going to have some expenditure on repairs, but I think it will see me out. If I was 32, different game. I would probably be buying a extra long wheelbase van. I would probably have a Hatcher bed put in it, a night heater and an inverter, and I will tutor myself around the UK and Europe doing work with that sleeping arrangement. If I was 42, probably just do UK but have the same setup, and look to change those vans every 2, maybe 3 years, because of the mileage that I'm doing, and keep my expenses on repairs down to an absolute minimum. I think at 52, probably a long wheelbase would have done me without the bed, and again possibly change every 3 years. But now at 62, I think I've made the right decision and I'm comfortable with it, so that is what we're going to do. Let me know in the comments if you think I've done the right thing, or if you think differently. Everybody's different. You do what fits your financial arrangements, you do what you think is right. James, for example, at Freddie Fletcher, a guy I think we all admire and wish him well with what he does, he tends to like to buy a little bit of an older van, and if things go wrong, he's quite happy to sort of get them repaired and get them back going again. And that's not the way I do it, but because there's no right way, there's no wrong way, you just do what is right for you. Right, on to today's work, and it's been a good day. I'm not going to lie, it's been a good one today. I won a job yesterday afternoon, quite early, about 2:30. I didn't want to leave it like I did the day before and then finish up with nothing. It was a job from Colchester, and it was a 7:30 collection, so that ticks my boxes for both there. A nice early start. Going to Hammersmith, London West 6, large van job, 79 miles, and I put a price of £150 on it. Just under £2 a mile if you want to do it that way, or a little bit less, but an extra premium for going into London. No congestion charge, just straight onto the sort of outskirts of the centre. Was on site at 7 o'clock, nobody was there, but the guys started to turn up about 10 past, and they said to me, just give us 5-10 minutes just to move some stuff out of the way and we'll get your stuff on board. It was furniture, going to a girls' school. I was off site, loaded at 7:30, I was off site with everything loaded up on the CX app by 7:35. 2.5 hours was the expected journey time, and that's what it took. Got there just on 10 o'clock. Went down the A12 all the way to the M25, up the M25, down the M11, and I went with an all circular, and it worked, to be fair. August, roads were a little bit quieter, and came off the North Circular there at Acton, made my way through down to Hammersmith, and job done. And then a bit of luck when I got there. It's a big old school, I know it from my taxi driving days. I quite often used to pick up girls from their homes in Chelsea and Kensington and take them to school. How many of us went to school every day in a taxi? But that's the residents of Kensington and Chelsea for you. loads of people around, loads of builders, lorries, vans. I thought, oh God, this is going to be a bit of a nightmare because I didn't have a contact on site. Parked up in the road and there's a guy standing there having a fag, and he just came up to the window and said, are you for X? Which I was, and he said, brilliant, lovely, follow me and we'll get you unloaded. And well, I was all done by 10:10. Perfect. Parked up, just clearing all the paperwork and started scrolling through the CX. Third job I looked at was from Hounslow going to St Neots. Thought that would be nice, small van job. I was 25 minutes away from Hounslow. 75 miles was the job, and I put a price of £75 on it, and I got a call straight away. So that was perfect, absolutely 100%. Left straight away, got on site at 10:40, off at 10:50, made my way up to St Neots, got there at 12:35, and I was empty at 12:40. Time for lunch, which I had with me, and luckily it was an industrial estate and there was a lovely great big unit I could park by that was in the shade. So lunch was taken and started to have a look through the CX for another job. There was a job came up from Shefford, which was about 25 minutes away, going to Ipswich. That was 75 miles, and I put a price of 85 on it. And I sort of regretted it straight away, and lo and behold, 10 minutes later, that job had gone sold, but not to me. A short while later, another job come up from Baldock, also going to Ipswich, 75 miles. So I decided this time to put a price of £65 on it. I really needed that job. It takes me home. And when I actually looked at where it's going, it was a job for HBC, to be honest. So I switched it over. I'm on the HBC app themselves. Switched it over to there and actually looked at the details. And it's going, not really Ipswich, it's more Hagley, which is even better for me on the way home. So £65 I put down. It was a 2:30 booking, and it was now at about 1:30. And they rang me straight away, job's yours. So finished my lunch and made my way over to Baldock. Got there at 2:10. A little bit of faffing around. I was hoping to get away quite quickly, but they were loading another curtain cider, and by the time they finished that, and the guy took an absolute eternity to strap his load down. You know, it is what it is. He's got to strap his load down. If he wants to take his time, then so be it. Who can I criticise? But time he'd done that, done his curtains up and got out of the way, and I got loaded. It was pretty much 3 o'clock. So yeah, this job is, did I mention the mileage? I'm not sure if I mentioned the mileage. It's, yeah, 75 miles, £65. I'm going to be there at about 4:45. That's absolutely fine because it's all cross country. I'm on my way now. I'm doing the job now. I don't suppose there'll be any problems, and I should get it all off by 10:05. It's just one box in the end, and that will be it. So 3 jobs today: 150, 75, and a 65. Total of 290. I can't complain at that at all. That's a very good day for me. It might be an average day for you, might be a bad day for you, I don't know, but it's a good day for me. And after yesterday's £80, the 2 days now average out to what I would look to earn. So that's all good. Nothing yet for tomorrow. I just wanted to make sure I got this on. I'm pretty certain I'm going to get this delivered. I don't see a problem with a box. I'm sure somebody will take it somewhere if the goods in it is closed, and then we'll start looking in a minute for tomorrow. That's it. Hope everybody's well. Hope you had a good day, and we'll go again tomorrow. All the best now. Cheers, Paul.